Hi everyone, my name is Ananya and I'm an incoming college freshman. And today I'm going to explain the Common App. So, CommonApp.org is a website that multiple colleges participate in so that you can apply to multiple colleges across many states in the US through this one website. However, Texan schools have this thing called Apply Texas, even though some schools like Texas A&M and UT Austin are in the Common App. And all the California schools have their own UC system website. So if you're only applying to, say, Texan schools or UC schools, then I would not recommend using the Common App. There's also the Coalition application, but fewer colleges participate in that, so many prefer to use the Common App. So let me walk you through it. So when you sign in, you will be taken to your dashboard, which is where the names of your colleges appear and also the type of decision like early action, early decision, regular decision, etc. show. And it also shows whether the colleges have downloaded your application after you have submitted it. And before you've submitted it, like uh, if there's 24 hours left, it kind of shows a timer, which is pretty cool so that you do not forget that you have to submit the application by the deadline. So how do you add colleges to your dashboard? So for that, you go to college search, search up your college, and press add to my colleges, which is where all the colleges that you're applying to via Common App will be listed.
So, for example, I want to add the Georgia Institute of Technology. So, I simply search up Georgia Tech and I press the Add button. Under the My Colleges tab, you find the list of all the required and optional materials for your application. But remember, optional is not always optional, especially for really selective institutions, unless it lists under an exceptional circumstance, like if you're low income or if the question is only for specific races, etc. Here is an example for Brown University. In the Recommenders and FERPA section, you will sign the FERPA release authorization, in which you promise that you will not read your counselor's or your teacher's letters of recommendation. And here, you also invite your teachers, counselor, and also some other optional advisors, depending on the college you're applying to submit their letters of recommendation. The question section is where you'll find the supplemental questions asked by each individual college, and in some cases, like here for Brown, you submit the supplemental questions separately from the rest of your Common App, but this is not asked by all the colleges. And now we come to the Common App, which is the biggest part of your application. Starting with the personal information section, you enter your legal name and birthday. Then you enter your home and mailing addresses and your contact details. Pretty self explanatory. Then in the demographics section, you answer questions about your race, gender, and your affiliation with the US Armed Forces. Then in the languages section, you identify all the languages that you know, either as your first language, a language that you can speak and or write and or read and or is spoken at home. In the geography and nationality section, you enter the information about your citizenship, place of birth, and your current visa status if you're not a citizen. The last section of the profile is the Common App fee waiver section. Some people may be eligible for this. The eligibility criteria are listed on the screen in the bullet points. If you meet the eligibility criteria, you select yes and you will be offered a fee waiver.
In the family section of the Common App, you answer questions about your parents and siblings if you have any. You basically answer questions about your parents' marital status, employment status, and education levels. And you also answer such questions if you have any siblings. Moving on to the education section, you first answer questions about your current high school. When did you join the high school? And when you're expected to graduate from there. If you attended more than one high school, You enter information about the other high schools you have attended and also the reason why you moved. In the next section, if you have taken any classes at a college, such as a community college for like dual credit, you enter the number of colleges that you have attended to take these courses. Uh, do not enter the number of courses you have taken, enter the number of colleges where you have taken the courses. In the grades section is where you report the size of your graduating class, how exactly your class rank is calculated, if at all. And here is also where you report in your GPA. You have the option to choose between your weighted and unweighted GPA, and you can also type in this grading scale that your school uses. After that, you enter all your current year courses along with their course levels, such as on level, pre-AP, IB, AP, etc., and also the course scheduling system your school uses. So that is whether you change terms trimesterly, semesterly, or quarterly, etc. You may not expect this, but it is under the education section that you will also report in your honors. You report in your honor title, the grade or the grades in which you received this honor, and also the level, whether it's a state level, regional, international, like how big this honor basically was. You can report a max of 5 honors. One tip I would give to students who feel that they do not have those many honors or awards in their high school career, you can just report if you're a part of an honor society in high school, whether that be Mu Alpha Theta, National Honor Society, National Arts Honor Society, etc. This section asks you about the number of community based organizations that you have been a part of. This can include sports clubs, youth groups, religious organizations, etc. And finally, the future plans section asks you to roughly estimate how much you would want to study in life and the career interest field that you want to pursue as of now. It's a drop down list, so you can choose what you want. In the testing section is where you will report in your test scores, like SAT, ACT, IB, AP test scores. International students can also report TOEFL, IELTS, Duolingo, English proficiency test scores here. Before moving into the activities section, which deserves a video on its own, honestly. So, here you report anything that is non academic about you, including if you played any varsity sports, if you did volunteering, if you were in orchestra or in a charity organization, if you had a blog, if you love to paint, hobbies, anything. Just report anything that is non academic about you in here. You have 10 slots to fill in, and here's an example of how one of the slots looks like. Again, if you do not have 10 outstanding, exceptional extracurriculars to report in, report only those that are of value to you, those that you put actual effort into. Just after the activity section is the beloved writing section, which is where you're going to write your personal statement. So you basically choose one of the 8 prompts or create your own and write an essay that is no more than 650 words on that prompt. There are many awesome online resources that you can find that can help you perfect your essay. And if there's enough demand, I do not mind making one video myself. Okay, so this subsection of the writing section is the additional information section. Wow, I said section 3 times in a row. Woohoo. Anyway, um, so here you can explain any extenuating circumstances that you might have faced during your high school career. I'm not sure if COVID-19 is continued for class of 2024 onwards, but you can still report in things like, for example, if you moved between high schools, how that impacted you. If you moved from a different country, you can explain the other country's education system. And if because if you move, you had to discontinue some extracurricular activities, or say you did not even move during high school, but then you faced some sort of injury that uh, forced you to stop pursuing an activity. You can explain any such exceptional circumstance in this section, and I highly recommend using the section wisely because it's essentially free space to report in more activities and make admission officers understand you better and understand your story better. The courses and grades section does not show up for everyone. Rather, it only shows up if you're applying to certain universities. You just basically enter in whatever your transcript says from all your 4 years of high school. And also, you enter stuff that got you high school credit, but you took them outside of high school, such as if you took any language classes in middle school and got high school credit, for example. And that you report in the other courses section. And finally, financial aid. So, US citizens and permanent residents can apply for the FAFSA through the website fafsa.gov. Non citizens are ineligible for this, but for example, the state of Texas has something for Texas residents but non US citizens called TASFA. So they can apply for that type of financial aid instead. Okay, so that's all I have for you. And if any seniors or anyone else who has gone through the Common App process have anything else to elaborate or add on, or any other advice you can give, feel free to share them in the comment section. And also, please give me advice on how I can improve if you're watching. But that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned something interesting. Bye.